We begin this morning with the close race for president. Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Governor Tim Walz, sat down for their first television interview together yesterday. It was Harris's first major interview since becoming the Democratic presidential nominee. The vice president defended her evolving positions on a number of issues and reacted to attacks from former President Donald Trump. And Governor Walz defended his comments on his military service.
What we've already done, creating over 300,000 new clean energy jobs, that tells me, from my experience as vice president, we can do it without banning fracking. In fact, Dana, I cast the tie-breaking vote that actually increased leases for fracking as vice president. So I'm very clear about where I stand.
My grammar's not always correct, but again, if it's not this, it's an attack on my children for showing love for me, or it's an attack on my dog. I'm not going to do that. And the one thing I'll never do is I'll never demean another member's service in any way. I never have, and I never will.
Well, joining me now with more on the Harris campaign and is CBS News campaign reporter Aaron Navarro. So, Aaron, you know, Republicans have been clamoring for this interview. They've been criticizing her for not being willing to sit down. What were the biggest takeaways?
Well, good morning, Anne-Marie. One of the big takeaways was the clip that you just played, Harris addressing some of her changing stances from a 2020 presidential candidate to her time as vice president to her time now as, the 2024 Democratic presidential nominee. One other highlight, she said she would appoint a Republican to her cabinet, arguing that she would be a president for all Americans, including those that did not vote for her. That is something we have not seen from former President Trump nor President Biden, but we did see with Obama and others before them. One other thing, she kind of was constantly asked about her ties to the Biden administration when it comes to the economy, when it comes to immigration. A question that many voters might have on their mind is, if you have these policies now, why haven't you been able to do them in the 3.5 years that you were in the White House? At least on the economy, she pointed to inheriting the COVID pandemic, and on immigration, she pointed to the bipartisan border bill that President Trump lobbied Republican members of Congress to vote no on. But this is something that's going to be following her as she argues that she represents a new way forward.
Did she say anything about the Israel-Hamas war and the crisis in Gaza? Because this is another area where she's been facing some criticism from Democrats.
Yeah, she didn't necessarily make any big news on this. She said that she would continue to support Israel's right to defend themselves. When asked if she would support an arms embargo on Israel, the stopping of weapons being sent to Israel during this war, she said that she would not support that she still supports Israel, and that while many innocent Palestinian lives are lost, she will not stray from that. And that's been something that you've seen from the uncommitted delegation, from progressive Democrats calling on her to do. But with only 2 months left until the election, it seems like she is not budging on that stance.
All right, so 2 days in Georgia. Where's the campaign headed next?
Yeah, Labor Day is the next big day for the campaign. You're going to see Vice President Harris in Michigan, as well as in Pittsburgh with President Biden for their first joint campaign event. And Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will be out in Milwaukee, and their respective spouses will be spread out across the battleground state map. So they're doing a full-on blitz for Labor Day this upcoming Monday.
All right, Aaron, thank you.